how to increase revenue. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So a lot of times after a keynote or a training that I do, I'll have people come up to me and say, how do I take this sales process or this technique and how do I increase my revenue? Yeah, that's a big thing because without revenue, you have no profits, right? So we have to generate revenue and more revenue than our costs or else we're going to be out of business long term. And so I learned this lesson a long time when I was out in sales, probably in the early 2000s at this point, when I was down in Florida. And we were new to this market. And this market was relatively small when we came into it. And we were doubling it year over year, even in the down economies that were going on in 07, 08, and 09. And here's the cool thing. We started going around helping the current dealer base that we had, and we were going out and helping their customers. And when we started generating more influence, and our customers were actually asking us for more information, which software to use, what this and what that, how can I be more efficient? They started asking us more questions. Well, here's the cool thing. When our influence levels went up, so did our sales. That's right. When you have high levels of influence, you have more sales, and that means more revenue. So we need to go and increase our influence if we're gonna do that in sales. And so a lot of people ask, well, how do I increase my influence? This magical word of influence. Well, it starts with 3 questions. The first question is, do I like you? And that's right. Do I like you? It seems pretty simple, and all salespeople go, I'm so likable, it is amazing. Well, sometimes you're having a bad day. Or the environment that you actually show up in is actually pretty loud and is driving anxieties. You can actually be grenading likability just in the environment you show up in. So having a relaxed environment, getting people outside of the 4 walls that they're currently in, sometimes will help them relax a bit. And that's why, dinners and the golf outings and all that stuff that salespeople have done in the past work great because you're getting people outside the daily grind where they can be interrupted and pulled into different directions. We actually need to invest, and it could just be walking outside, going out there and talking to them to increase that likability so there's not a lot of noise, a lot of distractions. The second one, that's trust. Do I trust you? And if you have no trust, you go nowhere with anybody. So we need to be working on trust. How do we do that? Well, we have the trust equation videos that I teach on, and they're on this YouTube channel as well. But you got to be able to build trust, and there's 4 main variables in there. And the biggest one basically is selfishness. If you are being selfish, just trying to generate trust so you can make more sales, which I get, if you're in sales, you're trying to build trust because that's going to generate more sales. But if you're immediately just trying to do something so you can get something out of it, people are going to recognize that long term. Sure, short time, you might actually be able to, distract them on that. But by and large, they're going to figure it out. So you need to build this. And this is a long-term play. You're always constantly trying to grow your trust. Now the third question, how can you help me? See, that trust part actually flows into this because if you are trying to help out your customer, guess what's going to happen? They're going to know that you're out there. They're going to trust you because you're trying to make them the hero of their story. And that's kind of how I picture it. Make them the hero of their story. If you do that, you're showing that you care for them and that you're there for them for the long haul. Trust and likability come with that. And so when you figure out how to do all 3 of those and actually build your trust and likability and make them the hero of their story, you're gonna start selling more. But I also want to flip the switch a little bit. Revenue by itself is not going to make the company succeed. We need to focus on our profits. That's why if we're doing all of these events, all this marketing, and we're not really selling enough, and our profit margins are really low, and we have a catastrophic failure, we can go out of business. So we need to be looking at our profits. And that's how you go and prospect the right kind of people and set everything up in the beginning so you can be successful long term. But you gotta make sure you're focused on how do we make more profits. Not just revenue, but profits. And sometimes you don't actually have to have more customers to build more profits. If you can sell more to the same person, well, every customer has a cost, so you can actually make more profits with a smaller customer list if you focus in on those that actually have growth. And I teach all that in my trainings and whatnot. So if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out. But if this video has been helpful so far, hit like, share, subscribe, send to somebody you think it might benefit. And again, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out because I do these videos and I do my trainings and keynotes to help you. We'll see you next time.